and welcome to the next installment in the How to PBCS series. In this how-to video, we're going to learn how to create data maps in PBCS. So first step we need to do is we need to log into PBCS. I'm actually, as you can see here, I'm already logged in, and in this example we are going to use the Vision application, which is the default application that comes with PBCS. So the first thing I need to do is I need to click on the application icon here. I need to click on application, and then I'm going to click on data maps. Then I'm going to create a data map called Move Forecast Data version 2. So let me go ahead and do that. I can see here it's actually over this side. Here's the create button for me here. So the size of my window is a little bigger. So I'm going to click create. And so my name of my data map is Move Forecast Data version 2. And I'm going to select the plan 1 cube, and I'm going to use an ASO as my target cube. I'm going to use this VIS1 ASO as my target cube. See, as soon as I select that, I've got a bunch of default mappings that appear. So it's going to take everything at level 0 descendants of account. I don't quite want that, so I'm going to click on this member here, and I'm going to select this AIIA member. Select that, and then I'm going to select NI, which is net income. Then I'm going to select 0001. Then I'm going to select 0002. Then I'm going to select, I actually want this GP member, which is gross profit. So I'm just going to click this check mark beside it here. You see this just to the left of the GP. Select that, and you can see it's now appeared here just below the default member. Now I actually want to remove this default member, so I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to click on the settings icon here. Click the settings icon, click remove, so I just have the gross profit member. So that's the first member I need to set. And the other members I need to set are further down. I'm going to leave it the default channel the way it's set up. I'm going to leave the default entity level 0 descendant. This is like taking top level of channel, and this one here is taking all the level 0 descendants of entity, all the level 0 descendants of period, all the level 0 descendants of product. Now the other members are going to change. It's going to be the scenario, the version, and the year dimension. For scenario, I'm going to select forecast. So I'm just going to go here again, like before, going to select that check mark, and see forecast is here. And again, I've got to remove my default member. Remove that default member, just leave the forecast. For version, again, I'm just going to select the highlighted member here, I level 0 descendants of version, and I'm just going to take working, this member here. See, working is selected here, so I'm going to highlight again. I need to remove the default member, I level 0 descendants of version. Remove that. Click OK. And then the last one, year. I'm going to click on I level 0 descendants of year. And in this case, I'm going to select 2 years. I'm going to select FY14 and FY15. And I'm going to remove the default member as well. Remove that. Okay. So that's a pretty basic mapping that we have, just pretty straightforward. And just real quick, I'm going to look at the options here. Click on the options button. I'm going to leave them the defaults alone, but we'll just go through these real quickly. The comments and attachments, where you can collate them or not collate them. These items, comment attachments and supporting detail, they only come into play if you're going from a BSO to a BSO application. In this case, we're going from a BSO to an ASO application, so it doesn't matter what you select here. It's not going to move any comments and attachments and supporting detail. The smart list dimension here in this case is account. Exclude dynamic calc members. We actually will want to include them, so I'm going to leave that unchecked. allow smart push simultaneously. Again, that will be, we'll talk about smart push in the next tutorial. So we're just going to leave that set as no. That's fine. Just click OK. This one here, the last one, the on-map dimensions, real quick. This HSP view dimension exists in the source dimension but does not exist in the target. Therefore, we have to pick a member that where we need to aggregate up the data and bring it across. So in the case of this HSP view, we're just basically taking the base data and mapping that. That's just one single member. You can see here just this base data, sandbox data, and consolidated data. So we're just going to take the base data. So that's fine. If typically you might have a member like, let's say there was product was missing on the target. What we typically do is take total products. What we do is take the aggregation of the member of the dimension that's not in the target. So we just aggregate that up and bring all that data across. Obviously, you lose the breakout of the data, but because it doesn't exist in the target, there's not much else you can do. Okay, so that's it. We click save and close. And once we click save and close, we should now see our new data map here. Move forecast data version 2. If I want to run this, I got to click on the actions button over here. So just click that. And I've got these options: edit, duplicate, delete, synchronize, and push data. What I want to do is push the data. So click the push data. And this is the first message that pops up here. Do you want to clear the data before push? I would say typically yes. It's definitely best practice to clear the data before you push it across. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to clear data. Push data error. So there's an error here. We'll need to check that. So okay, so it looks like I got an error here. Push data failed for data map move check job for error. So let's check that. So close this up. So if there's an error on your data map job, we just go to the jobs and we'll check it over here. So let's click on this one. This is the one we just said. Okay, what does it say here? Clearing data, push data failed. Invalid member selected for clear data. No matching descendants for member GP exists in the reporting dimension. I know what I did wrong here. Let's go back and fix this. I didn't do I descendants. I just selected the top level of gross profit, which probably doesn't exist in the reporting cube. So let's go back and let's see if we can fix that. So let's select our data mapping. Go back in here, click edit. You see here, this should be I descendants of gross profit. So I'm going to, not rather than just gross profit, that's just one single member. So that was a mistake on my part. And I'm going to go in here, NI 001, 002, and gross profit here. So you need to select the FX here, member, which is the functions. And we actually need to select this level 0 to 10. Oops, let me see if I can bring this across a little bit. I don't seem to be able to do that. So let's do FX, here we go. So level 0 descendants. This is actually what we wanted. Level 0 descendants. And again, in this case, we're going to remove this gross profit. Remove that. We need a level 0 descendants of gross profit, which is just the level 0 members in gross profit. Okay. So click save and close. Move across. And let's retry our push. So now I'm going to push data. Do you want to clear data before push? Yes. Push data was successful. That's more like it. So that's what we wanted. So let's go over to our jobs console. And now we can see the move forecast data version 2 is complete. It looks like it's completed successfully. And yes, it did. It looks like the data file we moved was 263 kilobytes, so it definitely moved data, which is great, and I don't see any errors here, so this looks good. So one thing you might see here, if you had errors, if you had a member, for example, that was in the source, if you had an account in your source that was not in the target, that would appear here. It would, everything else would still get copied across, but that account or number of accounts would actually show up here. So it's definitely worth checking these data map jobs when you move things across, running them manually. And that is pretty much it. That's data maps. That was a simple data mapping, and we stepped through it, and we saw an error that came up as well. So that's it. Thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, please send the email to the email address that's going to appear at the end of the video. Thank you very much.